Everyone feels like they got their money's worth out there.
Beyond the mat.
I think we touched a lot of people, if you don't mind me saying.
And finally, the dad comes back. To wrestling. I know what you're thinking. Hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and all that other stuff. The road to 1 million subscribers continues. But this isn't sing along with the dad. All right? We just want you to listen. Just watch. 3 minutes. Let us know in the comments what we should be watching or what you're watching. Now, for this one, here at the Critics Collective, we're going to do Beyond the Mat. This is a 1999 rated R. Rated R. An hour and 42 minutes. It goes into the world of wrestling in ways at the time was never done before. It honestly was a pioneer in professional wrestling, sports in general, and it's something that continues in different forms. Now, before we get into my first impressions, and before I get into my highs and lows and rated, I just want to say we've got some videos that we're just now doing in the wrestling spec. Just go ahead and enjoy all that. Let us know in the comments your favorite wrestler, documentary, show, reality or not, that has to do in the universe of wrestling or professional wrestling. Let us know. Now, we have a video should be out for Bret Hart. We have a video out, maybe 2 for Shawn Michaels, and there's more coming. Oh yeah, there's more coming. Ding, 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 ring the bell, and the 3 counts. So, Beyond the Mat. Now, again, 1999. This is rated R. First impression was, I'm not allowed to watch this. I was not allowed to watch this. I'm not gonna say not allowed to watch this because at this point I should have been in high school. I'm pretty sure I was just getting into high school, and it was rated R. It was like you couldn't see it, and on top of it was like you weren't supposed to see it because back in the 90s there was a show, I think it was called like The Masked Musician or something like that. He had this mask that it was creepy. As if you were young, you thought it was creepy. As an adult, you probably thought it was gimmicky, Vegas type of style. But he would do these magic tricks. And apparently, like, Extra would always talk about how his life is in danger because he's giving out the secrets that magicians just don't want you to know right after Inside Edition. And so Beyond the Mat was one of those. This wasn't something in the wheelhouse of Vince and Kennedy McMahon. This wasn't out of WWE's, plethora of media. So this was I still don't understand how this was done. I feel like there should be a dark side of the ring of this. Now, Beyond the Mat, and I may mention this before, has changed, not necessarily coming from that, but it spawned other stuff, other documentaries, other people kind of doing their own things. Kayfabe, where certain aspects of the business have been kind of knocked down and peeked through, and those doors have been kicked down. Break down the walls. Okay, I don't know if you know what artist that is, but they debuted against The Rock at a promo, and it's one of the biggest pops. I think one of the biggest intros of a wrestler debuting, and I think it was Monday Night Raw, if I'm correct. But anyways, so you have Dark Side of the Ring, which was on Vice, but now it's on Hulu. More episodes for that is coming out, but also we're going to be talking about that in the near future. That takes an idea like this and it goes more singular versus this kind of funnels it out. Now, IMDB says a heartfelt documentary focusing on the day-to-day lives of a professional wrestler, some on the rise, some on the wane, and others fighting for their lives. That is very accurate. It is. Now you have Terry Funk in it, Hall of Fame, hardcore legend. You have Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, pow, and Mankind. Have a nice day. Also, do love and do love. Anyways, Jake the Snake Roberts, just segue. So Jake the Snake Roberts used to always come out with the snake, put the snake in the bag, right? Put the snake in the bag. That's what he did. Came out, put the snake on you. He also dropped Bible verses constantly. That was his thing. So there was, the dude who was Earthquake when he was first coming up. Earthquake. I don't know what his actual name is. I can't remember. But there was a time where Jake had the snake. He grabs the Earthquake, grabs the snake from the bag, still in the bag, puts it in the middle of the ring, and jumps on it, splashes on everything. And as a kid, my dad used to have me watch stuff like that, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, the snake!" And I didn't even fucking like snakes, but I'm like, "Come on, man, it's a big ass man jumping on a damn bag with a damn boa constrictor in it. That ain't cool." And I just thought that was something. And then sidebar, I just thought it was something else. If you are a fan of Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the infamous line I think at the pay per view was King of the Ring, and Jake the Snake loses to Austin, who people didn't know. Austin at the time, Stunning Steve. But Austin comes up there and he cuts a promo, and I can't remember who he's cutting the promo with. But because Roberts was, the Bible, that was his thing, he basically says something like, da 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 da, just went on this nice little promo rant. It was just a great fucking promo. At the end, he's like, Austin 316 says, I just whooped your, I mean, fucking skyrocket. The bad guy became a good guy, making all this fucking money for Vince in the league, the Attitude Era, all this stuff, and not making Bret Hart happy about that. But I'm losing focus here. I can't help it. It's wrestling. I enjoy it. Anyways, my lows for this is not easy to find necessarily. You got to pay for it. It's about $5 on Amazon Prime and a few other places. It's not really HD for the most part. Now, there should be two versions. There should be the regular one. I think it was like Beyond the Scenes or Behind the Footage or something. I don't remember what it was called, but it was out there. The good stuff that I saw of this was I didn't know wrestlers really. I mean, a lot of the WWE stuff didn't have their personal life. So you knew they had family, but you didn't know. Like, you knew that they had to go home somewhere, but you didn't know what they went through to go home. There was elements of this that was just, man, like, at this point, so many things have passed. Terry Funk, Terry Funk was going through something where it was like he had spent so much time on the road and given his body up for this business. And you were sitting there watching, like, was he getting what he deserved back? You're watching The Rock, who's growing and changing and becoming this mega superstar. Even the way he talked was different, at least from what I heard from the promos and just the behind the scenes stuff. You have Mankind, Mick Foley, in the infamous 1999 I Quit match. Oh my gosh, let me paint the picture for you. It was The Rock versus Mankind, 1999 pay-per-view I Quit match. I believe it was also the same night that there was a Buried Alive match with The Undertaker, because I don't know why I'm remembering mounds of dirt, maybe I'm just blurring stuff together. Point blank, you get behind the scenes of that gruesome match, and then on top of it, find out that Mankind, Mick Foley's family, is sitting front motherfucking row. Now, just one of the scenes, trigger warning, if you're not a wrestling fan, Mick has his hands handcuffed behind his back. Mind you, this is a spot that they set up in the back that Mick basically said, hey, Rock, I want you to do this. A spot in wrestling is when you're doing something big and like a risk. Like, you'll go and you'll do moves out the turnbuckle, whatever, and you're talking to the person and you're setting up a spot. Hey, I'm gonna hit you here. We're gonna go to the turnbuckle. I'm gonna flip over for a reverse, for a suplex. You're gonna climb the other turnbuckle and frog splash. That's the spot. So the spot was, hey, you're going to go ahead and handcuff behind your, and then The Rock is going to fucking tee off on your fucking head with a steel chair. There's no CTE investigation about this. And The Rock just goes, my goodness. Go back and watch that match and the thudding sounds that are made. Oh, man. I'm losing train of thought. So you had that, some ECW stuff and things like that, but point blank, it tore down the idea of what was going on in wrestling. I believe there was even a part on there where Draws was being discovered, and Vince is like, I want you to pew, and practicing and showing. And then you also learned about the promo, how they would shoot a promo and they would tape it multiple times and try to get it right, or they would try to make it look a certain way, whether grungy or high tech or whatever they were trying to convey to the audience. And as a kid, it was just interesting to watch that, because yeah, I knew it wasn't real. My dad told me, but it is real. If you know, you know. Okay, so take that for what you want, but it is real. Anyway, so let's go ahead and rate this movie that took wrestling and professional wrestling and sports entertainment to a different level as far as behind the scenes and kind of letting people in on the magic. Now, you're looking at the Attitude Era at about this time. This is before you got into the PG-13 era. And it didn't stop. the WWE for making money. Matter of fact, this is really the point where probably the biggest part of them blowing up. You know, like the WCW versus WWE rivals that were happening back and forth, the video games that were coming out, the magazines, the cameos in television and film. It just was a time, man. What a time to be alive. Just sitting there with a Pop-Tart, a bag of chips, I don't know, Sunny D. Sunny D's got solar energy, you know? I would rate this, man. Oh, freaking A. I'm going to rate this a 4. I want to do it a 4. I really do. I'm going to go 3. Reason why I'm going to go 3 is there are some storylines and stuff they go through that if maybe you're not a wrestling fan, it doesn't grab your attention. I could be also saying this because I've seen Dark Side of the Ring, and Dark Side of the Ring does such a great job that even if you're not a wrestling fan, even if you don't know the wrestler, they do such a good job with the pacing and drawing you in, how each episode fits differently. That you're just there for the drama and learning something about an individual that happens to be a professional wrestler. And that's that. Now, with that being said, hit the subscribe button, like, follow, comment, all that other stuff. You could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. I greatly appreciate that. Until next time, kalika-lika-lao.